Bostrom plus Serta mattress manufactured with Serta's patented Cool Gel memory foam acts to dissipate body heat and eliminate pressure points, which reduces the tossing and turning that can be so disruptive to your sleep. The Bostrom Serta mattress comes in two thicknesses, 7 and 10 inches, offering support to drivers of all shapes and sizes. The mattress comes in the standard 80-inch length with 4 widths, 32, 36, 39, and 42 inches. For more information on the mattress or where to buy, call us at 800-459-7328. That's 800-459-7328.
At Hotshot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems and their solutions. For example,
Hotshot Secret Stiction Eliminator.
Stiction, that sticky friction, undermines the performance of diesel engines and is difficult to remove from the oil system. Hotshot Secret Stiction Eliminator is a powerful synthetic cleaner that targets stiction, contains no harmful solvents, and is formulated to be left in the engine to safely dissolve stiction for thousands of miles. It works as you drive. Our proprietary carbon nano lubricant is blended with Stiction Eliminator, filling in microscopic irregularities inside your engine, providing a smoother surface for enhanced lubricity, reducing friction and wear. Third-party ASTM testing verifies that Stiction Eliminator removes 2 times as much stiction than any alternative on the retail shelf. Use Stiction Eliminator to solve an existing problem or as a preventative maintenance.
Hotshot Secret Stiction Eliminator, available at truck stops, Tractor Supply, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and online at HotShotSecret.com. Hotshot Secret, powered by science.
And now, back to the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
All right, for the Jolly Green Giant, and I mean anyone else who doesn't necessarily understand, there is a reason it's called the swamp. Washington, D.C., the swamp. Not everyone's bad. You might find, I'm not going to try to put a percentage number on it, because with each passing year, you learn more and more. Those that you had confidence in, that were really there to try to help the people, their constituents, America first, like Donald Trump was, that you lose trust in them. You find out, they lied about this, they lied about that. Yeah, and as far as politicians lying, someone once said, how do you know if a politician's lying? Well, all you have to do is, if their mouth is open and they're speaking. People don't have trust. What's the approval rating for Congress? For years, it's been in the 12 to 15% range, which says, 80% plus of the people in this country don't have confidence in Congress. But it goes on. Year after year, decade after decade, it's insane. So you start off with what is called must-pass legislation. There's a bill that we've got to do this. Oftentimes it might be one of the, 12 funding bills, whether it's to keep the military going or to keep, whatever. There are must-pass pieces of legislation. You take that and then you start sticking this and that and this and that into the bill, racking up billions of additional dollars in spending that has nothing to do with what the bill's actually about. Now, right now, we all know, the COVID pandemic continues to impact millions and millions of people. What the numbers last Friday, another 800,000 plus filing for unemployment. People are struggling out there. Whether it's the direct payments to individuals, the businesses needing the business protection loans, the PPP loans, the restaurants, where in some cases, still nobody allowed to eat inside, 20% capacity, 25%. The gyms, the nail salons, the hair salons, all those businesses that need help. Many have already gone bankrupt, many more will without some additional help, right? So you come up with, we've got to pass this legislation. But that's where it starts. And then you start sticking they call it earmarks in Washington, D.C. It's an earmark. It's really called pork. Nothing to do with the intended purpose of the said bill, which in this case is relief for the COVID pandemic. Now, we've already passed previous legislation, the CARES Act, the biggest one to date. We've already spent at least $4 trillion for testing, family leave, small business relief, direct payments. You remember you had the $1,200 payments and you had the $600 payments. Now, this latest package has been debated on. I think we all well know the Democrats would not allow this bill to pass prior to Donald Trump, prior to the election back in November, because if it were to pass, it would have been beneficial to Trump. So that was, from the get-go, the reason it didn't pass at that point in time. It's now being held up because they continue to bicker over the outrageous spending that, for the most part, the Democrats continue to shove into the bill. Democrats consider this essential spending. How about $1.5 million for the Seaway International Bridge connecting New York to Canada? Chucky Schumer hails from New York, right? $50 million for family planning that's going to go to nonprofits, a.k.a. Planned Parenthood, public entities, services for adolescents. $852 million for AmeriCorps Vista, the National Senior Service Corps, the Corporation for National and Community Service, these volunteer agencies. $9 million of that for the AmeriCorps Inspector General to conduct oversight and audits. Now, AmeriCorps received $1.1 billion with the appropriations last year. Now, people of goodwill, you can debate these goals. Is it really emergency spending, or is it funding related to COVID-19? What is the public purpose for a hike in the minimum wage, the whole $15 an hour? The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office said that's going to cost 1.4 million jobs. So we're willing to remove another 1.4 million people from their jobs so we can go to $15 an hour. And at the same time, you got Joe Biden and the Democrats introducing legislation for a pathway to citizenship to legalize 11 plus million illegals in this country, which they'll immediately be competing for those jobs. All right, so the COVID stimulus, it does provide $473 billion in payments to individuals, $75 billion for vaccines, $26 billion for restaurants, another airline payroll bailout, another $15 billion for the airlines, another $7.2 billion for the Paycheck Protection Program. That's the small businesses that get loans. You add those numbers up, that's about $825 billion. Things related to COVID. Now let's toss in $1 trillion additional in a bunch of crap. Nothing related to COVID. It's called pork. No, that's an earmark, Mr. Steve. It's called an earmark. For example, auditors found $470 million in the bill, doubling the budget for the Institute of Museum and Library Services and the National Endowment of the Arts and Humanities. $200 million to the Institute of Museum and Library Services. I mean, this agency is so small, it doesn't even employ an inspector general. And what about the endowment of the arts and humanities? $270 million in funds. Now, back in 2017, a study showed 80% of all nonprofit grant making flowed to well-heeled organizations with over $1 million in assets. Yeah, a quick spotlight on those receiving COVID recovery money. $350 billion in bailout money for the 50 states and the District of Columbia. Here again, this is one of the big keys. They tried to stick this in to the bill when Trump was president, when they were debating it all the way back then. And Donald Trump said, I'm not going to bail out Democrat-run states like New York under Cuomo, California under Newsom, Illinois under whoever the heck's there now. We're not going to bail out these states who have spent their money frivolously and gone to the point of being on the brink of bankruptcy. They are the ones that were fiscally irresponsible. We're not going to bail them out. The Democrats, this is their pet project. We're going to bail out these states. New York, California, all their lockdown policies, their high unemployment, they're going to get bailout money. Whereas at the same time, where you've got states like Florida under Governor DeSantis, the Republican, who kept things open. South Dakota under, what's her name, Kirsten Noem, she's going to be speaking at the CPAC this weekend. They stayed open for business. They're not even going to get as much money. $128.5 billion to fund K through 12 education. Now, they said most of the money will be distributed in 2022 through 2028. Yeah, what? I mean, yeah, the pandemic's going to be over then. $86 billion to save nearly 200 pension plans insured by the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation. There's no reforms mandated while those badly managed pensions, a.k.a. central states, they'll get bailed out. $50 billion to FEMA. A portion of that is earmarked to reimburse up to $7,000 for funeral and burial costs related to COVID deaths. $39.6 billion for higher education. That's 3 times the money that higher education received with the massive CARES Act last March. They got $12.5 billion. Then let's tag on another nearly $40 billion. Oh, wait a minute. Who brought up Amtrak? Philip brought that up a few minutes ago. Hey, let's give another $1.5 billion to Amtrak, the National Railroad Passenger Corporation. Yeah, last year, Congress appropriated $3 billion for Amtrak, $2 billion for annual appropriations, plus an additional $1 billion in the CARES Act. In the 3 years before the pandemic ever came to light, Amtrak lost $392 million, even after $5 billion in taxpayer subsidies. That's what it's really about. To which Republicans are saying, this is outrageous. Strip this non-essential crap out of the bill and we'll back you. Forbes says we reached out to Speaker Pelosi for comment. I don't think she responded. In the past 3 years, our representation in Washington, Republicans and Democrats alike, have drained the Treasury from the left and the right. Our debt went from $10 trillion in 2008 to $19.6 trillion when Trump took over, to $23.6 trillion in 2020, and stands at $28 trillion today. And with the stroke of a pen, we're about to take that to right at $30 trillion. To which, again, you look, if you want to go and Get the people their checks, get the businesses their loans. It's not even $900 billion in this bill that's going to do that. It's an additional $1 trillion in absolute BS. But the Democrats have control now. They're going to get the proverbial wish list for every liberal policy they want. Which brings us to this past day where members of the House Freedom Caucus are drawing a line in the sand over earmarks. That beautiful word, earmarks, or pork. Congressional provisions directing funds to be spent on specific or pet projects at the request of lawmakers. See, now that the Democrats are in control, they are looking to bring back what they're calling a reformed version of the earmark process so we can fund community projects. Republicans have warned and actually, well, in some cases, warmed up to the idea. Earmarks, they were banned in 2011. Back, that was when the Tea Party was on their big swing. They banned earmarks. They're a bad idea. Warren Davidson, the Republican of Ohio, says, I am opposed to allowing earmarks. He's a part of the Freedom Caucus. Representative Jim Jordan of Ohio, co-founder of the group, says, I'm totally against it. I don't think Republicans should support earmarks. Garrett Graves of Louisiana says, earmarks would be acceptable in certain circumstances. Earmarks never really went away completely. They just moved from congressional control to the administration's control. The key is transparency, making sure you actually have criteria that ensures you're getting the best return on your investment. So, okay. Looking to bring back the earmark. It was banned for House members and Senate members to try to add all this pork into the spending. You say, well, how does this particular bill that we were just talking about have so much in it? Well, again, it went from saying Jim Jordan or Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer being able to personally stick an earmark into the legislation. It goes to the administration. I don't know who the hell writes the bills, who's putting it together, but they're the ones now that get to stick this extra stuff into these bills. Hope that gives you a better understanding. Hello, Double R.
Hey, bud, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good. It was nice hearing Lucas. He sounded really grown up.
Yep. College boy.
I'm glad he's doing well. So, but if you look at these so-called investments that they're wanting to put this money to, and if you follow the paper trail, like that bridge up in New York, I'll lay money that Schumer's going to get a kickback off it. I'll lay money on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't blame them for delaying it. I mean, it's crap. But we spent all day in Baltimore today. That was a joke. So running around looking for cars. So I finally got them all, and I'm up here in New Jersey now. But I wanted to call in and say good morning to you and let you know I got you a new listener over here at Reliable with us. So
oh, yeah?
She says we got another team. Her name's Crystal and Billy, and they like listening to you. She listens to you every night when you're on iHeart.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently she lost you. So
hell, everybody lost
your
me.
friend here.
Everybody lost me.
Yep. Your friend here, I took care of you, buddy. I got her all tuned in, so she's out listening to you, so that's a good thing. So, but anyhow, I just wanted to call in and say good morning to you and comment on Lucas and I don't even want to get started on politics because it's a joke either way you look at it. But anyhow, that comes on tonight, right? Fox, what is it? Fox Access or something like that.
I thought they said it started Thursday. Something I saw said it starts Friday. I'm pretty sure it starts today. Yeah, the CPAC thing.
Okay, cool. That'll work. So
it might be
that'll
worth
work.
Tuning in. That Kristi Noem from the governor there in South Carolina. Remember, she's the one that said, for the 4th of July last year, yeah, come on, President and Melania, come on up here. We're going to have our big fireworks display. Sturgis, the big biker event, which they all said, oh my God, she's gonna have a massive outbreak of COVID if she lets this happen. She let it happen. She's kept her state open, and the world did not come to an end. Hey, Double R, I'm gonna drop you there because the phone's. I neglected to do my phone reset at the bottom of the hour. In about 20 seconds, for our friends on hold, give me about a minute, and if you would, please dial us back up because I know we got a handful of calls hanging in there. So. Yeah, we'll return in like a minute and a half here. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
The Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers. Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios. Call Steve now. 844-844-3388. That's 844-844-3388.
Attention all truckers, Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. I want to talk to you about those dreaded tax problems. I know you want to keep on trucking and not even think about them. Well, let's face it, they're not going away all on their own. You need professional help. I've been helping truckers put their tax problems in the rearview mirror for years. I can help you too. Call me for a free consultation at 888-632-4506 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com. It's like I always say, keep your eyes on the road, I'll keep mine on the IRS. 888-632-4506.
Hey, good morning, Steve. You there? Hello, Steve.
You have successfully connected as a host.
Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the call-in studio web interface. Show recording is on.
USA Radio News with Dan Naraki.
The House is expected to vote on a $1.9 trillion COVID relief package later this week and is expected to pass but face tougher scrutiny in the Senate. Republicans have called the price tag of the bill too high and pushed back against certain measures in the package, like a hike in the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour. Senator John Kennedy says the bill has almost nothing to do with combating the coronavirus pandemic. The Louisiana Republican tells Fox News the package instead reads like a liberal wish list.
This isn't a coronavirus bill. This is a left-of-Lenin neo-socialist wish list. I mean, it just is. They've got money for transit projects and bridges and language preservation, billions for people who are in our country illegally. I am all for spending additional monies to combat the coronavirus, but this bill isn't it.
This is USA Radio News.
Hello, this is Wayne Alaroot for our newest sponsor, Asset Strategies, or ASI for short. ASI is a precious metals powerhouse. They sell gold and silver. Never in history has there been a more important moment to buy gold and silver. ASI has been in business for 39 years. They've served over 20,000 clients and sold $5 billion worth of gold, silver, and precious metals with zero complaints. Last year, gold saw gains of 25%. Silver nearly doubled gold's performance. Now Democrats are in charge. Green New Deal, open borders, free healthcare for illegals, bailout broke cities and states. The debt is about to go through the stratosphere. The time to buy is now. The owners of ASI, Michael and Rich Chekin, have been my close personal friends for 16 years. ASI is the company I trust when it comes to buying and selling precious metals. Call now to receive a free consultation and a free 1-ounce silver eagle with every qualifying purchase when you mention the Wayne Alaroot Show. Call 800-831-0007. That's 800-831-0007 or visit assetstrategies.com.
West Virginia remains among the leaders in the nation at getting COVID vaccines into the arms of its residents. Nearly 10% of the state's population have received both doses of the vaccine, with nearly all of the doses West Virginia has received being administered. Governor Jim Justice says his state's vaccination plan has been simple. He tells Fox News they've quickly mobilized as many resources as they could to administer the shots.
Our model's real simple, and it's just this, is really, when it really boils right down to it, we got our local pharmacies, all of our local clinics, our National Guard stepped up and we took off. And we took off with the people that we knew were going to die, and that was our elderly. And we absolutely got ourselves back in school because we vaccinated all of our teachers and service personnel right off the get-go from 50 and up. And absolutely, you know, like I said over and over and over, there's a lot of good things going on right now in West Virginia.
This is USA Radio News.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
The Scripps National Spelling Bee is back on this year.
Last year's Spelling Bee was canceled because of COVID, the first time since World War II had been called off. This year's bee will happen in a mostly virtual format, with the in-person competition limited to a dozen finalists who will gather at Walt Disney World in Florida. It's usually held at a convention center outside Washington, where a larger gathering was not possible. And instead of compressing the entire competition into a week, it's called Bee Week. The bee will be stretched over several weeks, with the preliminary rounds to be held in mid-June, the semifinals on June 27, and the ESPN televised finals on July 8th. From the Texas USA Radio News Bureau, I'm Val Dior.
The cancellation of last year's bee was a cruel blow to 8th graders who missed out on their final chance to compete after years of preparation. Spellers routinely study obscure words, roots, and language patterns for hours a day, sacrificing other activities and social life for a chance to become the national champion. Spellers are no longer eligible after they reach high school. And country singer Garth Brooks has revealed his wife Trisha Yearwood has tested positive for COVID-19. In a statement, Brooks said that the couple had been quarantining for the last 2 weeks after a member of their team tested positive. While his tests have remained negative, he says Yearwood is experiencing symptoms, but overall is doing okay. For USA Radio News, I'm Dan Naraki.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems and their solutions. For example,
ultra-low sulfur fuels.
The primary function of diesel fuel is combustibility. One of the little-known aspects of fuel is its role as a lubricant to metal-on-metal moving parts. The introduction of ultra-low sulfur fuels diminishes the fuel's ability to lubricate because sulfur, which has been mostly removed, has lubricating properties. Hot Shot Secret Everyday Diesel Treatment with LX4 delivers unmatched lubricity. Third-party testing confirms that it takes 3 times the amount of leading fuel treatment to match the lubrication benefit of 1 dose of Hot Shot Secret. Everyday Diesel Treatment is a fully formulated 6-in-1 premium fuel treatment for every fill-up, every time.
Everyday Diesel Treatment is available at truck stops, Tractor Supply, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and online at HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
All right, tell you what, it all looks good on my end, but apparently the YouTube feed, the app appears to be working, the restream working. As far as YouTube, I'm not sure what might have happened there. Someone said, hey, the YouTube stopped working. And I punched over to YouTube, and it looks like, like they ditched out at 3.5 hours in or something. I'm not sure. Hopefully everybody will find us back or where we're at on the active streams. I'm not sure if Facebook got affected or not, but let me jump back to the calls, though, and see if we got those back up and running. Noisemaker. Hello, Noisemaker.
Good morning, Steve. I dug up an old handle I'm using tonight. I called the other night, gave my name, but tonight I'll just use a handle. You mentioned that COVID-19 bill. You know, the Democrats, they run the Congress, the Senate, and they're in the White House. And, you know, I used to say disagree agreeably, but we can disagree, but, you know, we can't disagree because we're called all these names of what we are. They categorize us now. And you know, I thought it was illegal to pay someone to vote a particular way, you know, but they needed these 2 Senate seats in Georgia, and also Joe Biden, or I should say the devil, went down to Georgia and told him he'd give up $2,000 if you vote for them, and they run everything. But my main reason I called you talked about that package going all over these postal facilities, and you mentioned Warrendale, and I'm on my way to Warrendale now with a load of mail. And I'm on the dock today, and they're giving me my mail, and I won't give a specific name for it, but it's like a hand-to-hand, and there's quite a few packages, and I have to verify all the serial numbers on these packages and compare them with the paperwork I have, and I signed for it. And once I signed for it, I'm on the hook, and the postal worker's off the hook. When I get to Warrendale, they signed for it, they verified I'm off the hook, they're on the hook, and I'm going through the mail, and I'm saying, well, why am I taking Toledo? I don't take Toledo.
Mm-hmm.
They said, well, who should take Toledo? I said, well, you got that trip going to Detroit in a couple hours, and it goes through to Toledo. It stops at the Toledo post office on the way to Detroit. Well, I don't know. They just told me to give it to you. I've been doing this for a handful of years, and I just kind of consider myself, I'm like the Domino's pizza man, okay? I don't make it, I just deliver it. I don't open up the box to see if it's sausage or pepperoni. They say, here it is, and that's all I do. I scratch my head, and I wonder why, you know, but that's just one example. I'm going east. This mail should be going west. Warrendale's about 28 miles outside of Pittsburgh. And then a handful of years ago, I'm doing a Pittsburgh trip, and I know a guy, he's a couple doors down. Turn signal's not working. a couple of doors down, and he's going to Indianapolis. And they're putting Indianapolis mail on me for me to take to Pittsburgh when there's an Indianapolis truck there going straight to Indianapolis. And we just look at each other and shake our head, you know. That's been doing this for a while, and I'm just like the Domino's pizza, man.
Yeah,
I don't make it, I just deliver it. But I hear all these stories, and the stories I hear, they're really not as bad as it is when you're actually doing it. Okay, I mean, I can't criticize it too much, you know, but I'll just use my handle instead of my name. You know, it's like it's baffling. You know, but it's good you're back on the air. You know, and I'm going to Wardendale, and another year or two from now, I'll be hanging up my keys and waiting at my mailbox, waiting for the mail. But Steve, I want to thank you for being there. You have a good morning.
All right. Thank you so much for chiming in this morning, noisemaker, and be safe out there. Don't be a stranger. Okay. Let's see. Looking at some of the messages. Now, Pappy was on, I think he was on the YouTube, and he said it came back on that end. Lost the YouTube feed, and Pappy said back up now. It was gone for a while, but all right, back up on here too. I guess that's the Facebook. Yeah, I'm looking at the Facebook feed. Everything looks to be working, at least for what I can see. So, yeah, the phone, Rick, the phone disconnect wouldn't have anything to do with the feed. Via like the YouTube or the Facebook, anything like that. So we'll make it on through the final hour here on a Thursday. Want to jump on board? We've got lines available at 844-3388. All right, back to the rest of the story on the winds. You're going to be traveling out west. High wind watches are already in place as of Wednesday, where wind watches are now being bumped up to wind warnings or wind advisories. With the northeasterly wind, travel will become difficult on Interstate 5 and 10. These crosswinds will be strong enough for potential high-profile vehicle blowovers. If you got a tractor trailer, especially if you got an empty load, look out. Luckily, since the high pressure continues to shift eastward and gradually weaken, the gusty wind's not going to last for too long this time around. It's probably going to begin to wind down starting maybe midday today, but oftentimes you have a heightened fire risk with Santa Ana winds, and that threat not quite as high this time around. We did have a little bit of rain in the month of February. Some areas of Southern California actually got a pretty good soaking there at the end of January. Any fires that do manage to get started would have the potential to spread quickly, though, with those strong winds fanning the flames. So, winds expected to continue maybe into the early afternoon hours, then begins to subside later on Thursday into Thursday night. Friday looks to be a mostly sunny day, lighter winds. Forecasters are monitoring another potential Santa Ana wind event coming up this weekend. While the temperatures will be lower, those gusty winds may last a little bit longer this time around. So that'll be drying out vegetation a bit further there. How about a quick look at some of our travelers' weather? All right, many people anticipating the CPAC, which gets underway. My understanding was today. And President Trump's going to be kind of like the headline, the keynote speaker. Sunday night. What's he going to say? Everyone's curious. As Jolly Green Giant was saying, why would this guy even contemplate wanting to run for president again after the way he was treated for the 4 years he spent there? Is he a glutton for punishment or what? All right, what they're telling us now is former President Trump reportedly will condemn his successor's policies, as in one President Joe Biden. And they believe he will refrain from officially announcing any intentions to run again in 2024 when he addresses CPAC on Sunday. Undoubtedly, he will criticize Biden for his actions undoing his work, including in regard to immigration, in regards to China. When he speaks at the CPAC headliner, he's expected to shuffle between, maybe warming up to the idea of a 2024 run, or walking right up to the line, announcing another campaign without declaring his candidacy. Now, if the polls can be believed, which we all question these days, early polls show Trump holds a comfortable lead in a Republican primary if he were to actually run. Now, this story said the annual conference begins Friday in Orlando, where Trump will speak at the event's final day, his first official public appearance since leaving the White House. But yes, a number of conservatives, various Republicans from around the country will be speaking. You've got Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri, Ted Cruz of Texas. I mentioned earlier Kristi Noem of South Dakota. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is slated to speak, and a number of others. Be interesting to see what all they've got to say there in Orlando. Now let's try Gerald again. Take two. Good morning, Gerald.
Hey, this is Daryl.
Oh, Daryl. Well, hello, Daryl.
Hey, how you doing, Steve?
Doing well. Thank you much. Thanks for calling back.
That's good. Hey, I got you on speed dial, so I can get you right away. Hey, it was sad to hear about Elvis. Really sad. I listen to your show all the time. I pick up the last 2 hours, and then when I get out of work, I listen to the rest of it. I rewind it, But, hey, I didn't know Stormy. Did something happen to Stormy, too?
Yes, indeed. She passed away last year.
Oh, man. That's too bad. That's too bad. But, hey, I got to talk to you. I pick your brain here a little bit. And I can't remember if it's a product that Chris has or if it's a motor quote product. I got these gearboxes at work on these saws, and it's leaking a little bit. I get a little bit of 80-90 oil coming out the seal,
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering what product. I can't remember what product that was. Do you remember by call? It was on your show. I remember listening to it.
Now, this is for what? For trying to... Hot Shot Secret does have a product. Yeah, they do have a product that will... If it's a major leak, it's probably not going to fix it. But if you've got a minor leak, I'd have to look up what that's called. But it's a product that does have it will kind of swell up the seals a little bit.
Yeah, it's not a real bad leak right at this point. But as time goes on, and they use it in production, it will get worse, and then it'll save a whole lot of work for me. Dismantling the saw, tearing it down, and rebuilding the gearbox. And I really don't want to get into all that, but if I could get a product to find out what that is, I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
But I can't remember if Chris had that product or if that was a motor code product.
I think they both actually do, but I'm sure. I know. I talked to Kyle about a product because I've got the driveway drips on my Cadillac as well, and he's supposed to get me some out and see if that'll help swell up the seals.
Right. I remember you could put it in power steering units. I mean, even transmissions. I heard, but I don't know. How can I go about? Would I have to just call in and talk to someone on your side?
Yeah, you could call the office there at Hot Shot Secret. That's what they're there for. They can, I'll help you diagnose what's going on and tell you what product you could use that might be most beneficial.
Okay. Yeah, these gearboxes only hold about 1.5 quarts of 80-90 weight,
Mm-hmm.
But it's a whole lot of work to tear the spindle out and put a new seal in behind it. It'd save me a whole lot of downtime and if I could just get a product to get in there to maybe seal that up.
Yeah, I'm sure they can take care of you. Well, not tomorrow night, but the following Friday is Chris is going to be on the show with us again for the full show. Chris Gabrelchik. So,
okay.
Yep.
Okay, next Friday?
Yep.
Oh, okay, Steve. Maybe it's a good time to call in then and pick his brain a little bit.
Yep, because that's what he's here for, and yeah, he can help you diagnose. And what was it? He's going to be actually you can kind of circle your calendar. The first Friday of each month, Chris is going to be joining us here on the program. So be kind of like a Hot Shot Secret night, one night a month. Obviously, we're making sure it's not like a Hot Shot Secret infomercial every night. So, yep. So each first Friday of each month.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, thank you very much, Daryl. Thanks for checking in this morning. Now, speaking of silencing the conservative voices, George Washington University law professor Jonathan Turley said this past day, the left's appetite for censoring conservative voices and actually going as far as try to curtail their reach continues to grow and spread. He was speaking this past day at a House subcommittee hearing claiming we are living through a period reminiscent to the Red Scare. He called attention to the recent letters signed by the two California representatives targeting conservative-leaning outlets, Fox News, Newsmax, One American News. That letter, as we've talked the last couple of nights, demanding answers from cable television on, why are you participating in spreading dangerous misinformation? Now, from the perspectives of free speech and free press, this letter, he said, is not just chilling. This is positively glacial. The letter does not even address the long-standing objections to networks like CNN and MSNBC and others for pronouncing bias and refuted stories. Yes, some have been corrected, some have not. Indeed, major media figures like Chuck Todd have made demonstrated false statements and clearly false or misleading clips without any correction. Yet, this letter solely looks to bar those networks that the members and their constituents don't like to watch. He went on to draw parallels between attempts to censor conservative views today and the Red Scare during the Cold War era, when those suspected of being communists and other political descendants were all the target. According to Turley, quote, there is now an inverse intolerance against conservative voices. If you don't remember, the Red Scare was a time where writers and others were put on a blacklist. They were denied employment because you held the wrong view. Well, there are now new calls for just that, blacklists for not just members of Congress, but for writers, for academics. Nowadays, he said, it's more likely that professors and writers will be targeted if you support the government and law enforcement than you would be if you criticized the government and law enforcement. That's scary times. The world is rapidly changing right before our very eyes. All right. Hello there, second offender.
I know, right? Dispatch told me that I could get fuel at Sturbridge. They just remodeled and rebuilt that pilot there at Sturbridge, Mass.
Uh-huh.
And no, you can't. Not yet. The signs on the road said closed, and I thought, well, okay. I went down by there anyways, and no, you can't. So if anybody's planning on fueling at Sturbridge at the pilot, it's a no-go.
Mm-hmm.
So I got plenty of fuel. I wanted to clean my mirrors and stuff and get some ice, but that ain't even happening. So, but I just wanted to let them know out there if they're coming up here that ain't going to happen. So.
Mm-hmm. So a heads up, all right. Well,
see how that goes. Yeah, that's the end of my baloney for I'm almost done. But yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to let you know, is that let these guys know that that is not open, not yet. So, what the heck? So, all right, I got to get off here, go see if I can find someplace else to clean my windows and mirrors.
Okay.
So,
oh, never a dull moment out there on the road, is there, Rhonda? All right, click over to Fly Rod. Hello, Fly Rod. What's happening?
Hey, good morning, Steve Sommers. Thanks for taking my call. How are you this morning?
Hanging with him. What's happening out there?
Well, I came in late to class as usual, so I came in about the 3:15 hour, and so I have no idea what all I missed out of the gate there this morning, first thing, but good to hear you on the radio as usual.
Well, they say if you miss a day, you miss a lot. I don't know. I'm sure you missed some good information, though, Fly Rod. Come on.
Well, now I'll go back into the archives, a.k.a. the podcast, and I'll gather up all the information I've missed, and we'll have something to talk about tomorrow night.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Hey, Steve, I want to ask you, do you really think there's a chance in hell that Donald Trump would even risk trying to run again in 2024?
That question did come up earlier, and my personal line of thinking is I think he's really going to look to be in the forefront of trying to shape and endorse, whether it's a House member or a senator, whoever's going to run, and he's going to back some challengers back the challenger to the likes of Liz Cheney, back the challenger to the governor there in Georgia. Those sort of, he's going to look to shape that. I really don't see that he would be looking to run again in 4 years.
Yeah, I agree. And with that said, I don't see how the Democrats would in any way, shape, or form, now that they've successfully stolen this election, how any conservative would even have a chance in hell at ever getting back in, especially with the highest office, with the presidency.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see it happening. Now that they've got the good game plan, they know how to whoop us by stealing votes and counting them after the midnight hour after most folks are in bed. Hey, it's a bird in the hand to them. It's super easy. What do you think?
You know what? We all have the big question mark that was left in our mind. We all wish we could. And isn't that what Ted Cruz and Rand Paul and others that were kind of wanting to pause the certification? They weren't saying stop the certification. They said, let's hold on a minute. Let's do a little digging. Let's investigate a little bit how widespread was the fraud that was taking place. We know there was some there. How widespread was it? Isn't it fair to get those answers?
Absolutely. And well, I'm sure the Democrats, they must be tickled pink knowing that they can run the gamut the way they have since the November election, and after the certification, especially in January, that now, even the highest court in the land won't even hear any of the challenges that were waiting in the queue.
Correct.
I'm sure you've talked about that in the last few days or last week. That just astonishes me. So why would any conservative, especially staunchly conservative or pro-American, like Trump's platform, I just don't see how they would have a chance in hell at ever getting elected back in, because the Democrats are not going to let them. They would pull out every stop by stuffing ballots, whatever means they would have to ensure that another conservative, such as Donald Trump or anyone like him, would ever dare to seek the highest office, or any Senate or Congress for that matter.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you on that one there, Fly Rod. Yep, absolutely. Hey, thanks for chiming in this morning. What else? One more thing you say?
Well, I know you're up against the bottom of the hour. No, go ahead. I'll catch you on the flip-flop. Take care.
Okay. Yeah, it is bottom of the hour, as he said. All right, it is 844-3388. Yeah, I pulled over the YouTube. It looks like the YouTube feed did kind of kick out. So it's not there. YouTube Steve Sommers Overnight Drive. Maybe I said something they didn't like. You never can tell. Well, they'll be digging into that later today. I know we're up on Facebook and whatnot, so. Let's see here. Let's just take care of that quick timeout, and we'll get back with more of your calls. We've got lines available here as we kind of run down that final stretch on a Thursday morning. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
You're listening to the Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems. For example,
fuel additives.
The purpose behind most fuel additives is to impact performance of your diesel or provide protection to your fuel system. Hot Shot Secret Everyday Diesel Treatment provides both performance enhancement and protection with 6 key components. This fully formulated premium fuel treatment includes the performance-enhancing cetane boost, injector cleaner, and LX4 lubrication, as well as protection against water with a demulsifier and rust inhibitor, plus a stabilizer that minimizes fuel filter clogs. Everyday Diesel Treatment delivers a 6-in-1 premium fuel treatment for every fill-up, every time.
Everyday Diesel Treatment is available at truck stops, Tractor Supply, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and online at HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
PureFlow Air Dog, your leader in fuel air separation system technology. Our systems filter out water, particulates down to 2 micron, and remove all of the air out of your diesel fuel. This allows for nothing but pure, clean diesel fuel to reach the expensive injection system equipped in your vehicle. Not only do our fuel systems protect, they also come in a variety of flow rates to meet your performance needs. Our systems are compact and use OEM-style fittings for easy installation. Learn more about our product at www.pureflowairdog.com and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Protect your investment with PureFlow Air Dog.
Drivers, you demand that your equipment's reliable and dependable, and that also applies to your headset for communication. Well, our friends at Stellar Electronic have you covered. The Pluto Duo headset bundle is the best communication headset you can find in the industry. No matter the challenging environment you're driving in, the Pluto headset will make you sound crystal clear all the time thanks to their 99% noise cancellation. And the Duo's not only a stereo converter for the headset, but also a power bank so you can charge as you go. Learn more at StellarElectronic.com or visit them on Facebook.
Do you have a Dodge pickup and hate your automatic transmission? Of course you do. Levon Miller at Firepunk Diesel here, and we specialize in heavy-duty and performance transmissions for your 3/4 or 1-ton Cummins-powered truck. So if you're interested in turning your stock slush box into a towing monster, call us today at 614-733-3744 or visit us online at shop.firepunk.com.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. I have one question for you. Do you want to stop worrying about the IRS? If the answer is yes, then look no further. I've been around for years, I've helped countless people across the country, and my success rate speaks for itself. So now you know where to find good, honest help with your tax problems. What are you waiting for? If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or haven't filed in years, call me now at 888-557-4020 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com for a free consultation and get your life back.
Whether you're a diesel pickup performance enthusiast or just looking for a small upgrade, when selecting common rail fuel system components, look no further than Exergy Performance. At Exergy, you'll find injectors, pumps, and more, engineered like no others on the market using state-of-the-art equipment run by people that have been in the business for decades. So if you're in the market for common rail components at any power level, contact Exergy Performance or one of the many dealers listed on our website at exergyperformance.com.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems and their solutions. For example,
ultra-low sulfur fuels.
The primary function of diesel fuel is combustibility. One of the little-known aspects of fuel is its role as a lubricant to metal-on-metal moving parts. The introduction of ultra-low sulfur fuels diminishes the fuel's ability to lubricate because sulfur, which has been mostly removed, has lubricating properties. Hot Shot Secret Everyday Diesel Treatment with LX4 delivers unmatched lubricity. Third-party testing confirms that it takes 3 times the amount of leading fuel treatment to match the lubrication benefit of 1 dose of Hot Shot Secret. Everyday Diesel Treatment is a fully formulated 6-in-1 premium fuel treatment for every fill-up, every time.
Everyday Diesel Treatment is available at truck stops, Tractor Supply, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and online at HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios, the Steve Summers Overnight Drive.
Hey, back at it for a final segment here on a Thursday morning. Hey. Yeah, during the break there, I kind of scoured around, and yeah, for those that were watching on, I pulled up the Hot Shot Secret Overnight Drive YouTube page. Yeah, about 3:30 a.m. For whatever reason, it kicked over, and I had to kind of scroll down a little bit, and the live feed was there, a couple lines down. I clicked on it, and it's there live still, but it says we started streaming 60 minutes ago. Now, that's kind of weird. So, yeah, somehow it kicked off and came back up. Once again, at 3:30, I didn't do a phone reset or anything like that there. So, one of those strange occurrences. Some people have been able to find us once again. I know Sylvester was out there. He said, I can't find it anywhere. Hey, let's get right back to the calls. What do you say this morning, old Knucklebuster?
Morning, Mr. Steve Summers. Yeah, when you done the reset there, somebody was still on there, and he kept going, thanks for taking my call, Steve, and Stevie there.
Huh.
I just reached up there and flipped the YouTube off and put it back on there and brought you right on back up there like it wasn't nothing, so no big deal there, right?
Yeah, you go.
That was still funny to hear that guy hollering, Stevie there. So... I guess he finally hung up. I don't know. That's kind of sad. We ain't gonna have no more crybaby truck in there, right? So that's what you read when you passed them slow trucks, CRY, not YRT.
I'm glad he didn't start cussing me out, Knucklebuster. What if he started cussing me out and I didn't know it?
Oh, well, you wouldn't have ever heard it, but I would have.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know, I got 3 face masks in the truck, Steve. I start out with a white one, and when I cuss somebody out, I put my brown one on. If I have to cuss somebody else out, I put my black one on, right? And that's the way it stays for the rest of the day. Tell old Big Ed there, I was over there in Oklahoma again last night, and, you know, they got a Sasquatch hunting season over there now. And Big Ed, I saw him on the shoulder. He started running, jumped up on the running board of my truck there, and was holding on to the mirror. And when I reached down there to get my phone to take a picture of him, he gave me the finger and jumped off, Steve, and ran away. So I didn't get no picture of him there. We'd just be out of luck on that. You asked me about old Elizabeth Hurley last night there. I had an infatuation with her. Now, I got the Fox News app on my phone, and they got a people in places section on it there, and whoever runs that thing there, they're the ones with the infatuation of Elizabeth. They keep putting them pictures on there of her, but I had to agree that you and I would definitely enjoy that summer shot of her, right?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and I got a DA nominee here. This is a Nooser News article, and whoever wrote the headline for this thing really ain't never been to jail because he said Ghislaine, I guess that's how you pronounce her name, Maxwell.
Yes.
That she really didn't want to be in jail. Hell, Steve, I ain't never met anybody that really wanted to be in jail, right?
Nah, me either.
Get locked. Yeah, I know that's right. I like to stay out. I've been in there a time or two, but I don't want to go back there, right? And last thing I got there is looks like the Nationals and the Cardinals going to kick off Major League Baseball this on the 28th of February here. I guess that's the start of the preseason, right?
That would be correct, yeah, because they reported the training got started here a week or two ago, yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know how many games the Reds and the Cards play this year, but let's go, Cards, go.
Yeah,
and that's all my baloney for today, Mr. Steve Summer. Have a great, blessed day, and just wind this thing up and carry it to the house, brother.
You're always pushing the envelope down in my Cincinnati Reds there, you know.
Well, I can't help it. I got a 92-year-old mother. Matter of fact, she went in the hospital the other day, but she's going to be getting out. So she's all right. She's just old, Steve. And she was born and raised in St. Louis, and her daddy carried her to the ball games when she was a youngster. And she remembers baseball players that you and I didn't even know about. She had a couple of rabbits she named after the ball players.
Wow.
That was back from the 1930s and 1940s there. I'd never even heard of them. I was like, who you talking about, Mama?
Well, yeah, we weren't born yet, so how would we know? Thank you very much, Knucklebuster. A couple of industry headlines. Trucking couple on their way to Texas Beach for a Valentine's trip say they are lucky to be alive after losing control on an icy highway back on the 10th. Kylie Dutch and Josh Fisher headed to Galveston in their semi in celebration of their new trucking company and Valentine's Day when the trip took an unexpected turn. Accompanied by their 5-year-old daughter, their unborn child, and their dog, Cooper, they were looking to get out of Kansas, the cold. Soon encountered some unexpected winter weather on the trip, and that's when things got downright scary. Traveling along I-69 when their rig started sliding on the ice, their lives flashing before their eyes. They said the storm we were going away from is the one that came down a couple days later. We were completely sideways. The truck slowly drifts across the median. That's when the other semi-truck came. Everything was like slow motion, describing the semi-truck crashing into the passenger side of their truck. I saw it coming toward me. The next thing I knew, I heard Josh yelling at me, Sam screaming, the dog barking. Dutch was pinned inside the cab as a result of the crash. Fisher was able to free himself and pull their daughter and dog from the wreckage. I didn't expect to be alive, Dutch said. I didn't expect my babies to be alive. The unborn child is expected to be fine. Dutch now has a long road of physical therapy ahead of her, nursing broken bones, rendering nearly half her body useless. Luckily, Fisher and their young daughter suffered just scratches and bruises. The dog ran off in the confusion of the wreck. Family said, we never expected to see Cooper again, but 8 days later, someone found him, took him in. He has since been reunited with the family, thanks to the help of Facebook. How about that? It was a big wreck. I'm so injured, there's no way that he didn't get run over. And, of course, the driver of the other truck refused medical treatment, no tickets issued in the accident. Yeah, one of those scenarios where you saw your life flashing right there before your eyes, no doubt about it. Our number, 844-844-3388. And let's see what's... Hey, is this the Eagle?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Good morning, Eagle. Did you get a good nap?
Yeah. I don't know if you put me on the radio. I guess I don't know. I fell asleep, but I just woke up. But I wanted to talk about a couple of things before you go off the radio. Yeah, you say you back on YouTube because when I woke up about 45 minutes ago, I heard somebody else talking, but yes, your signal, the video wasn't up for YouTube.
Yeah, like that at 3:30 it kind of ended, but then the live stream, you had to go down and click on it again, and the live stream is still there.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I have to check it out after I hang up with you because I had to look at what happened last night to see what they was, see what you're talking about because I didn't make it through the whole show. But I wanted to say something right quick. I don't know if you talked about Tiger Woods. But from what I'm hearing about Tiger Woods, it's not looking too good for him where it concerns his golfing career. Look like that might be over with. If he's a lucky man, he's lucky he's still, from what I read on my cell phone and heard in the news, he's lucky to not have one of his legs amputated because they said the bone came out through his skin on one of his legs during the accident. They didn't know if he would get infected. He got a steel rod or something in both his legs or something. So
compound fracture.
They were saying that they would.
They call that a compound fracture. Yes, very bad.
They thought they would have to amputate the leg if they couldn't have got him in the operation yesterday. So hopefully they don't have to amputate one of his legs, but they don't know if he his future is walking, if he can walk or not. But I definitely don't think he's gonna be playing no golf no time soon because your leg. People don't realize how much pressure you put on your legs and ankles when you play golf and your back. So he has problems with all of these areas. So it'll be a long time before you see Tiger Woods on the golf course if he makes it back to the golf course.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, he's a lucky man to still be alive at this point. But something, Steve, I want to talk about what you was talking about at the beginning of the show. I listened to the first hour or so before I had dozed off about the guy. What the hell was he? Yeah, he was talking about the trucking issues and stuff. And what was that guy's name? He said that some people were smoking drugs and stuff, and he didn't know if he should get involved.
Yeah,
you should get involved. You should get involved in that because these people are getting behind the wheel of an 80,000-pound killing machine, and you don't want somebody doing drugs that's driving an 18-wheeler. That man is out there. He could be out there with your wife, your kids, your family, and he could be the one that runs over your family. You can't allow a man like you should take pride in your profession, which I do, and I don't want somebody out there on the interstate that's under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Because my family is out there, your family is out there, and I don't want this man to kill somebody. Because when I drive my truck, I don't do drugs or alcohol. You could better believe that I'm 100% ready to go when I get behind the wheel of my truck. Mm-hmm. And I expect the other drivers to do the same thing. If you want to, like they told me a long time ago when I started driving, Steve, if you want to do drugs, or you want to drink alcohol, find you another profession. Don't get involved in truck driving because truck driving and drugs and alcohol don't go together. As simple as that. A lot of truck drivers don't realize that, and that's why their trucking careers don't last too long. Because if they want to continue that type of lifestyle, because you're going to eventually fail a drug test or a alcohol test, and then your career is going to be over anyway. So it's just a matter of time before you get caught. If you don't get caught by the police, you'll be caught by a drug test or an alcohol test. Simple as that. So, that one guy that called Big Ed that called in, it is. Yes, it is your responsibility to report an individual that's doing that type of stuff. The way I see it. What do you think about that, Steve?
We've had several follow-up responses, and I mean, I guess the only thing was he wasn't certain whether or not they were truck drivers. He said, two guys, they looked like truck drivers. They were there at the truck stop. Several people said, well, if I was him, I would have waited and watched them. And if they got up and got into a truck, then I would have called law enforcement to get them off the road.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. Well, let me say this right quick before I hang up with you, Steve. Here's one thing that I've been saying this for so long about the trucking industry, about how some of the people are hypocrites. Do you realize that, you know, they say that a truck driver is not allowed to have alcohol in the cab of his truck. You can't even have a 6-pack or a 12-pack in the box. You know, you go into a Walmart and you don't even have to open up the beer. The beer can be located in your truck, and you still consider with a DWI and a commercial vehicle. But you know something, Steve? In every truck stop in the USA, whether it be a Pilot, a Love's, a TA, a Petro, wherever you go, guess what? They sell alcohol. And when you purchase that alcohol, when you lay that alcohol on the counter and get ready to purchase it, they don't ask you to see your commercial driver's license to see if you're a truck driver. They don't know. They don't know if you're buying that beer and going back out to the parking lot and getting drunk, you know, with that beer. So like I say, they seem like hypocrites because, like I say, if they cared that much about safety and they didn't want truck drivers drinking beer, they wouldn't sell it in a truck stop as far as I'm concerned. And I thank you for taking my call, Steve.
Yeah, no, the idea is, I think that a lot of times, what if you're at a truck stop and you're about to you're on the road and you got held up in traffic, or you didn't get to make it back to your whatever your destination is, and you're about to do a 34-hour restart. Now that'd be plenty of time for you to drink your 6-pack and relax. Now you drink more than that and be ready to roll. Yeah, following that conversation with Big Ed earlier, I pulled up that story about the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse. It was a total of 56,000 drivers who had gone through the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse in 2020, the first full year of it being mandatory to submit failed drug tests or drivers that refuse to take a drug test. Yeah, odd thing, or maybe not odd, the interesting thing was it was a low percentage of those that were actually alcohol related. The overwhelming majority were marijuana failures, marijuana drug test failures. I'm thinking back, I kind of remember when we initially shared that story, that the big boom in last few years has been the use of CBD oil. Yeah, many of which market themselves as having no THC, right? But the experts say there's really no such thing. It's a very minuscule amount that's still going to be in there apparently. But if you're going to use the CBD, and sometimes you might use it, and I've never tried it, but if I understand, you can use it 2-3 times a day or whatever, but THC tends to build up in your system. So if you've got that minuscule amount, and day after day after day, that minuscule amount suddenly gets to a level where you could actually fail a drug test. You're showing positive for THC. Now, the advice for truck drivers is, do not use the CBD oil. You may find yourself out of a job, or failing a drug test. Let's see. Is this Charles?
Yes, it is. Steve, how you doing this morning?
Not half bad. What's happening?
Hey, I just, I've took a little nap and the live stream dropped off, and I was like, okay, what happened to Steve? So I went back up there and got it back on. But I just wanted to call in and say, love your show as always. And the Republican Party has really changed a great deal. I'm more of a Trump supporter now than I am a Republican. I hope he does run again. I hope you don't get. I hope a glitch doesn't happen to YouTube that I said Trump, since we're now living in the era of silencing free speech.
Cancel culture.
The cancel culture. It's ridiculous. Facebook. There really needs to be some sort of accountability for these social media. I've experienced discrimination by that platform. I understand it's a private company and everything, but here's my context. I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but if you own a business in town, you can't discriminate against anybody on a litany of things, color, sex,
Sure.
sexual orientation,
Mhm.
whatever. You have to serve everybody no matter what. And I think those same standards should be adhered to on any business, whether it be social media, which is a business, or your local diner. There should be no discrimination. I mean, obviously, threats and stuff like that, violence, I get that, okay?
Sure.
But there needs to be some sort of accountability for social media. Social media is, and I get the whole 230 thing, that needs to be revoked, in my humble opinion. But because what they're doing to President Trump and conservatives is an absolute travesty. A free speech, folks, is no longer available, and it's wrong. I mean, like I said, with regards to the corner square, the market square, whatever, it's now social media. It's now online. It's no longer, I just think that it's, but anyways, getting back to Trump, really support him. I hope he does run again. I don't know if he will or not. It's a little bit, I understand he had to take a breather. Like to see the mega rallies come back, I think, if instead of making mega rallies, say, hey, I told you so rallies, because what's going on with our government is just, I'm 50 years old, Steve. And for the first time in my life, I'm actually afraid of what's happening in our country. And it really makes me sad. I feel for these young people. What kind of country are they going to have? I'm sure you and me, we grew up riding in the back of a pickup and drinking water out of a hose. And, they're not going to experience the same country that we experienced. And I just feel for this country. With regards to the whole drugs and trucks and all that, I don't normally, what happens in another man's truck is his business. But the one thing, or the two things that I'll drop a dime on, is drugs and alcohol. If I see somebody going down the road, chug-a-lugging, yeah, I'm gonna drop a dime. Now, if they're parked in a truck stop and they got their curtain shut and it's obvious they're not going anywhere, what they do in their truck is their business. I just think that, like I said, unless I see drugs. I mean, drugs, obviously, that's straight out, hey, no. But if somebody brings back a beer and drinks it in their truck, hey, as long as they ain't driving drunk. Now, if I see them pulling out after drinking a 6-pack, yeah, I'll drop a dime. But if I see them go to sleep, hey, that's their business, And there needs to be responsibility. With freedom comes responsibility, in my humble opinion.
Absolutely,
But,
that's what it's supposed to be.
That's what it's supposed to be. You're with freedom. Yeah, you should be free. We have so many people out here now. You got 800 numbers on the back of all these trucks, and the guy might be having a bad day, and he, you might be slowing him down, so he calls your 800 number and complains. To me, it's like, come on, man. What's the point?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you're having a bad day. Why you got to take it out and get somebody else? I know I've been out here for 30 years, and I don't know of too many companies that take those complaints seriously, unless it's a number of complaints. But it's just, unless somebody is doing drugs and I see it, or drinking and driving, hey, what they do in their truck is their business. I keep my, long time ago when I was a kid, I was always told, you keep your nose on your own face and you'll live a happy, healthy life.
Yeah, don't be
You know what I mean?
Don't be sticking your nose where it doesn't belong. Is what? Yeah, that I was told that many a times. It might mind your own business, right? Now, again, there are certain things you want to maybe interject yourself into, but that was kind of like Big Ed's question. That's why he brought that up there in the first hour. Now, Deranger is talking about, for someone that's doing like a 34-hour restart. He said most companies he's familiar with want no alcohol 12 hours before your shift begins. I could understand that. If you'd polished off a 12-pack, essentially your body, you metabolize like one per hour kind of thing. So, that way you don't run the risk. And, of course, CDL holders held to that higher standard. What is it, 0.04 is the limit for CDL holders. All right, with that, we made it through another morning. Guess what? Tomorrow is going to be a Friday. Dean Michael, the tax doctor, will join us in our first hour to get things underway. We'll be announcing the winner of our this week's Pluto Duo Stellar Electronic Headset, about 1 o'clock hour. Of course, second prize, the Hot Shot Secret Big Rig Duo. If you haven't yet registered, you don't have a lot of time. OvernightDriveRadio.com is the website you go to. Click on Contest and submit your email. You'll be in, and good luck to you. Have a great Thursday. See you back at the midnight hour. This has been the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
Never guess the places that I've been. You never guess the places that I've been. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. I'm never gonna let the day begin. Never gonna let the day begin. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. Oh, don't wake me up before you go, and I'll just make this bed my home. Oh, darling, please just let me sleep. Give me my dreams. Better from above. Nothing's ever as it seems, yeah, except in that world that I dream of. Never gonna lose the ones I love. Never gonna lose the ones I love. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that world that I dream of.